Your court television news starting now.
Good morning, everybody, / good afternoon, and welcome to a breaking news edition of the NJCourts TV news station. Literally just breaking. As a matter of fact, I'm just going to go ahead and go straight to the City of Las Cruces' YouTube's official page where they are going to be starting right now a news conference live, just starting right now. So I don't want to miss that. I'm going to be watching it with you, and then we'll have a conversation as far as what's happening. There was a mass shooting, just really quick. There was a mass shooting last night in my hometown of Las Cruces, New Mexico. It's making national news everywhere. It sounds like 17 people were injured and 3 dead at this time. But let's just go ahead and go to the City of Las Cruces' YouTube channel and let's see what their news, what they're going to say in the news conference. All right, give me 1 second. All right, doesn't look like it started yet, so that's a good thing. So that gives me a little time just to get prepped because I was literally making breakfast right now. I saw that they were going to go live with basically I guess a news brief, news conference. It's only open to media, news media. If I literally knew about 10 minutes earlier, I would have shot down a city hall right now. I've got my badge with me. I would have been allowed inside, and I could have been bringing you this live. But at least we're going to still be able to watch this, and maybe it won't be shaky because I'm sure whoever's going to be shooting this video or is there is probably working for the city. So I'm sure they're going to have a nice setup. They'll have a nice microphone set up so that way everything is good as far as audio and camera. So it's probably a good thing that I didn't shoot over there really quick because I probably would have forgot a bunch of stuff, and it would have just been a shitty stream. So we're just going to sit here and wait for this to start. It should have already started, but they're probably running late. Like I said, let me just jump over to chat. This just happened yesterday evening around 10 p.m. is the news that I've gotten. It wasn't at a school. As of the news right now I've received, this was at a local park. It's called Young Park. It's probably it's probably the second largest park we have here in the city. It's got a big pond in it. That's why it's called, well, you don't know it has a pond by the name Young's Park, but for everybody that's from this city, everybody knows it as the park with the pond, okay? I guess last night there was a bunch of these street racers going around town. I don't know if they were there to meet up as far as an event that, these aren't sanctioned events, okay? So when I say the word event, these are illegal events. And the reason they're legal is because these street racers are doing illegal stuff in these cars, okay? One, they're racing on public streets and blowing past what the posted speed limit is, which is very dangerous. Most of them probably don't carry insurance, so if there is an accident, they're not going to have any responsibility behind them as far as to be able to compensate whoever they hurt or whoever property they damaged. And also they tear up the streets. They peel out, they burn rubber, and that costs money to the taxpayers. So and this is a problem that's been going on in a lot of cities. I know, like in big cities like LA, you see a lot of these street racers, and there's always a lot of crime that gets attached to these guys, all right? Whether it's, the big group that they're in starts breaking windows and shit at whatever area or, establishment they're near. Or just recently, not too long ago, I watched a video where there was one of these big street races going on, and they were doing those burnouts in the middle of the intersection. This was, I think, in L.A. Somehow a car rolled over onto one of the spectators that was watching. Actually, rolled over 2 of the people that were watching, and literally, and I wouldn't show this. Obviously, YouTube would remove my channel if I did, but through the platform I was watching this, you literally watch these people die, okay, right on the street in front of their friends, who it was really sad because these kids don't know shit. So their friends, instead of even trying to apply any type of CPR or medical attention, they're just filming their friend dying, going, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. It's like, 1, call the cops, call 911, and 2, start applying some fucking first aid, all right? But anyways, it's just a really shitty situation, and it's a popular thing going on with these young kids. And I guess this is what led to this shooting last night. So it wasn't at a school. Again, this is just facts that I've read so far. I will verify all this hopefully right now with this news conference. So as what I've been told, it wasn't at a school. This was at a local park. This was at 10 p.m. last night. It was a big group of these street racers. As a matter of fact, there's actually a nice big picture of the guy that has the AR that was doing the shooting. So whoever this idiot is, and I'm sure he's probably under the age of 18, so I'm sure he's a high school student, with the picture that they have of this kid, I don't already doubt if they already know who this kid is. They're probably looking for him right now. And I will share this. This morning, I was out running some errands, and literally, and I took a video of it. I was in my car when it happened. I was just sitting at an intersection. I see this car, and it was getting followed by what looked like a little, like, just little normal car, but it had little flashing lights. So I'm thinking, is that a security guard or a police car? Because, it didn't even look like a police car. Then all of a sudden, as I'm just kind of wondering what the fuck's going on, there's more of these like little soccer mom looking cars and vans pulling up around this car, and they all have flashing lights. And then next thing before I know it, I'm like, holy shit, this is like a big old like whatever type of bust. So I don't know if that had anything to do with last night, or if that's just, I know right now ICE is going around deporting a lot of people, and we got a lot of legal people in our city. So I don't know what that had to do with this morning, but it could have, should have, would have, and maybe it could have had something to do with last night, because the way it just went down, and this was at like 6:30 in the morning on a Saturday morning, it was really odd. But anyways, and I have the video, so I'll share it to you guys after we do hear this news conference. Like I said, it may have nothing to do with anything that has to do with last night, but it's kind of weird. All right. So let's start getting some information here while we're waiting. I just didn't want to miss this. Welcome, everybody coming in the chat. As a matter of fact, I think I just saw, yeah, I sure did. Stinky Pinky, thank you so much. Stinky Pinky becoming a new member of the members of the jury. I appreciate your support, Stinky Pinky. You guys know what to do in chat. Spam them gavels for me, please. Stinky Pinky, hold on. I got to grab my gavel. This gavel slam goes out to you, Stinky Pinky. And no, you're not banned. I can still see you. All right. Remind me. Don't remind me. I'll be right back. Let me check. I need to make sure that I shut all the burners off, because, like I said, I was literally in the middle of cooking my breakfast, and then I saw that this news conference was going to go down in like a few minutes. So I said, oh, shit. So I wanted to share this with you because I actually had somebody reach out to me. Thank you. You know who that person is. You know who you are if you're here in chat. And wonder if I was okay. And I was like, well, what do you mean if I'm okay? And they said, well, there was a shooting in your city last night. And I said, what? I didn't even know about it until this person, basically communicated me the information this morning through Instagram. And then obviously, I went on and started looking for information as to what happened. So, unfortunately, we don't have our own local news station, so we have to always refer to the nearest largest city that's got its own local news station, which in this case is El Paso, Texas. It's not even a city here in New Mexico, which, to their credit, they do, do news coverage, obviously, local to us. But, and obviously they're probably at this news conference in one of the bigger stations here locally that are going to be covering this for the bigger, parent company that they belong to, which will be then sharing all that, broadcast to all the major newscasts or news stations around the United States, because this is already made national news. So you may have already heard, you probably may have even heard about it last night before I even found out about it this morning, and I live here in the city where it happened. So just shows you sometimes how we could just be clueless when shit goes down. All right, here we go. I'm going to shut up.
To stand strong and united as we try to heal and face this tragic event that took place in our city. We need to stand strong. We need to come together. So please help us to heal and join me in my thoughts and prayers for the families and those lives that have been lost. Thank you.
Good morning, Nanny Paz.
And thank you, Mayor. Now, Las Cruces Police Chief Jeremy Story. Thank you all for being here this morning. I want to begin by thanking our law enforcement partners who assisted us during this tragedy and the chaos that ensued last night. Thank you to New Mexico State Police, the Doña Ana County Sheriff's Office. Thank you to the FBI and ATF, who were there last night and continue to help us with this investigation. This news conference is to give an update on a mass casualty incident, mass shooting that occurred last night on 3/21/2025 at Young Park, which is located at 1905 Nevada Avenue. There was an unsanctioned car show at the park prior to this shooting. The call for the gunshot victims came in at approximately 10:10 p.m., again on 3/21/2025. The investigation so far reveals that there was an altercation between two groups of people, and that altercation escalated to gunfire between both groups. Several other people were also injured in the crossfire. Officers arrived on the scene and began treating people immediately while trying to deal with the chaos of that situation. Bystanders, some of them had already started administering treatment. Las Cruces Fire arrived very quickly, and they began immediately rendering aid despite the fact that the scene was not secure yet. Las Cruces Fire Chief Michael Daniels will give a quick summary here in a minute of the treatment that was provided and some of the transport. But as of right now, there are 15 people that are injured and 3 that have passed away. This is a huge crime scene with a lot of moving parts. It will take time to process it thoroughly and reopen everything. We're asking for anyone who witnessed the shooting to contact us by calling 575-526-0795. That's Mesilla Valley Regional Dispatch Authority. If anyone has relevant video or photos, we ask that they please upload them to the link that was provided on our Facebook page so that we can go through that and find the leads and ultimately hold the suspects accountable. I do want to correct a few things that are circulating, especially on social media. The person holding an AR-15 in the photo that's being distributed has already been interviewed. At this time, we do not believe he was involved in the shooting, although it's obviously a problem that he's out there with an AR-15 in his hand. But at this time, we do not believe he was involved in the shooting. He has been contacted already. Casings have been located throughout the park and parking lot. Again, it's a huge scene. All of the casings located so far are handgun caliber casings. There are no rifle casings consistent with an AK or AR style rifle. In fact, there's no rifle casings that have been located at all so far. They're all handgun casings. At this time, Las Cruces Fire Chief Michael Daniels will give a summary of the treatment that was provided and where patients were transported. Chief.
Good morning and thank you. As of right now, last night we had 25 members of Las Cruces Fire Department that responded to the incident. We had members from our local partners, American Medical Response and Native Air, who assisted in the transport and movement of victims, as well as all 3 local hospitals affected. As Chief Story said, we have 18 total victims, and as reported in the news release, ages ranging 16 to 36. 7 patients were treated on scene. 11 patients presented to local departments. 2 were pronounced dead on scene. 4 were transported locally, and 1 was flown to El Paso for treatment. The overall status that we have for right now is 3 patients are deceased. 7 have been sent from local hospitals to El Paso for further treatment. 4 patients have been treated and released, and we don't have a status for the remaining 4 patients at this time. We're waiting on updates from our local hospitals. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. This horrendous, senseless act is a stark reminder of the blatant disregard people in New Mexico have for the rule of law and order. It's also a reminder of the utter lack of fear of accountability in New Mexico. As angry as I am right now, this news conference will not be political. There will come a time to talk about the failures that led to this tragedy and so many others in New Mexico, but now is not that time. There are 3 priorities right now. The first priority is to support the families and loved ones of those who are affected. Some of them need prayers as they go through the loss of a loved one and they grieve. Others need your prayers as their loved ones fight for their lives in hospitals throughout the borderland. There are a lot of hurting people right now in our community. Our next focus is the apprehension of those involved and those responsible for this atrocity. We will find each and every one of them, and we will hold them accountable to the criminal justice system. We also need to do a thorough and meticulously documented investigation. This goes hand in hand with holding those people responsible and accountable. There's still a lot that is unknown and being pieced together. And we will try to answer the questions we can, but we will not speculate or give opinions that are not based on facts. And one last thing I want to say before we get to questions is I'm very proud of the response of not only our officers, but our firefighters, disregarding their own safety to provide treatment and ultimately, I believe, saving several lives by rushing in spite of the fact that they did not know it was safe to do so. So again, Chief, hats off to your firefighters. Okay.
And actually, before we get to questions for any of our speakers, I would like to mention that Las Cruces Police and the City of Las Cruces are partnering with the Community Foundation of Southern New Mexico. They are will be holding a fundraiser for the victims of this incident. We'll have the information on this live feed, and then I'll be able to get that information to our Facebook page, the Las Cruces Police Department's Facebook page, later on today. If you would, when I come up to you, mention your name and your affiliation, and then ask your question. And we'll start over here on this side.
And while Dan is doing that, we'll try to have the appropriate person answer the question if we can, again, based on what we know at this time.
Hi there, this is Johnny Coker with KRWG Public Media. I was just wondering, you mentioned there was an altercation between two groups. Has there been any arrests in connection with what happened last night, or anyone detained?
There have not been arrests or anyone detained. We have leads that we're pursuing, but we are also asking the public or anyone that might have information to please provide that to assist us.
Algernon DeMassa, Albuquerque Journal. Do you have a sense of how many casings have been collected so far?
Yes, sir. I'm Lieutenant Bradley with the Police Department. Right now, I don't want to speculate and give an inaccurate number, but we believe that there's somewhere in the neighborhood of 50 to 60.
Wow.
Jason Groves with the Las Cruces Sun News. Chief Story, you mentioned an unsanctioned car show. Was there any police presence throughout the evening at the car show? And can you just characterize the Young Park area in terms related to crime historically here?
Yeah, I don't know for sure the answer to the first part of your question, so again, I don't want to speculate. This is an issue we've had for a long time. We've been trying to deal with it. We worked with Parks and Recreation to install gates at the park so that at 11 o'clock when the park closes, we can cut it off. This happened before 11 p.m., obviously. But that area has been troubled with crime more so in recent years, and I spoke about it during an interim committee meeting recently about the level of violence we've seen in that park. So in spite of some of the efforts, we are still struggling with that, obviously.
Selena Madrid, KFOX 14. Can you just quickly confirm, was it 14 or 15 injured?
So 15 injured and 3 deceased as of right now, ma'am.
Okay, and then could you just elaborate a little bit more on these unsanctioned car shows? Are they a pretty big problem in our area?
They are, and they've kind of ebbed and flowed, partly with weather and other things, but so they've become an issue. We've kind of dealt with it, done some projects, and then they're less of an issue, and then they kind of creep back up. But definitely a problem.
Jesus Baltasar, KTSM 9 News. The people who were killed, do we know if they were exchanging gunfire or running away as the shots were being fired?
I cannot answer that. I don't know if Lieutenant Bradley can provide. Not this time that we can verify.
Algernon again, Albuquerque Journal. How does LCPD handle car shows? Gatherings are legal, but at a certain point, do police intervene? And do you anticipate changing how that is approached subsequent to this incident?
Well, those are difficult circumstances. For one, I'm not going to send a single officer in to deal with something like that. And so I have to have the resources to be able to handle it effectively. And that means if they were just gathering and nothing was occurring that was illegal, then I have no issue with that. The problem is what tends to occur is a lot of illegal behavior with the vehicles. And then also, in this case, I mean, there were firearms throughout this entire event. Some that were used in the shooting and just people with firearms willy-nilly throughout the hours leading up to it, based on the video that's been provided so far to us. And so dealing with them is difficult, but we have to deal with them with resources, take enforcement action. Our last projects that we ran last year was a zero tolerance approach to the violations that we had.
And then What is your message to the community? Obviously, a lot of information circulating online. We're seeing a lot of video. You mentioned the correction for the person that was holding that weapon. What is your message to them in regards to putting that information on social media? Is it harmful to the investigation at all? Selena with KFOX 14.
So it can go both ways, and I understand people are trying to help, and we appreciate that. So what I would ask is that if they're circulating and posting it, to at least share it with us through the link so that we ensure that we have it. But just be careful what you post, because I'm sure most of them don't want to or are not intentionally hampering the investigation. And we will try to put out corrected information if there is misinformation that's harming the investigation.
Additional questions? Hold on, let me go back this way.
Justin Garcia, Albuquerque Journal. Can you, I mean, you touched on this before, but I'm sure you're aware that these illegal car shows happen very frequently in the Young Park parking lot. Can you kind of explain why there was not more police presence in these sorts of scenarios? And then my follow-up question is, one of the people who I spoke to who was at the event mentioned that typically the process is as soon as their racing begins or any kind of like doing donuts in the parking lot begins, that's usually when the police department comes in and sweeps through the area, but that didn't occur this time.
Yeah, so the answer is, if I had, well, in a perfect world where I had 220 police officers like I'm supposed to, it probably would have been different last night. But I had no units available for most of the night prior to the shooting. And so, I mean, logistically, I got what I got, right? If I don't have any officers available, they can't respond. And so I wish it would have been different, but it wasn't for lack of trying or because we didn't want to respond.
Hello, Miguel Contreras from Univision. With all the caskets found, are they all from the same arm, or are we looking at multiple arms being used in this event?
We don't know how many firearms, but definitely more than one. There's multiple firearms that were involved.
Right here, Chief.
This is Josue with Telemundo. Information, any description of the person of interest regarding the shooting?
We have very limited information right now. I'm not sure there's anything I can put out that's going to be accurate. We're still trying to vet the information. So if we have something to put out, we will update it after the news conference.
Other questions? Let me come here first.
Jesus Baltazar, KTSM 9 News. Can you confirm if we were out there last night, if all the shooting occurred in the parking lot? I saw investigators also go to the area of the park just to look around.
I'll have Lieutenant Bradley answer that.
So to answer your question, sir, as right now, the majority of the shooting did take place in the parking lot. However, we did find fired cartridge casings throughout the park near the restroom areas and down towards the streets. We are still continuing to canvass and make sure that there are no other casings throughout the park. As you're well aware, it's a very large park, so it's taking time to do it meticulously.
Okay, back here.
Justin Garcia, Albuquerque Journal. The city has invested in park rangers for parks, and I'm just curious, were they at all involved in this? Was that something that was on their radar? Can you just kind of fill us in on that?
Now, our park rangers just graduated the academy. Now they're doing their field training program. So unfortunately, it takes a while to produce even someone who's a non-sworn officer or non-commissioned officer. So they're not out actively on their own right now.
Back here, Chief.
Jessica Ansudes with the Las Cruces Sun News. Chief, if you have any details about what might have initiated the altercation, and as a follow-up question, how many people approximately were in the park at this time?
So for the first part of the question, we know that there was some type of ill will between these groups prior to last night. So they had some issues before, and it escalated last night. As far as an estimate, do we have an estimate? Approximately 200, but again, that's an approximation.
Okay, additional questions? Right here.
Johnny with KRWG again. Just to follow up a little on what Justin was talking about, besides the park rangers, what steps has LCPD taken in recent months to improve safety at parks, especially at night? Has there been any sort of effort in that way?
Yeah, so I already mentioned at Young Park specifically, we worked with Parks and Recreation to install those gates so we can close off the parking lot when it closes by ordinance. And so we've been doing that. Unfortunately, somebody hit one of the gates pretty early on and it's damaged and it has to be repaired. The other thing that we're in the process of is installing technology in the parks as part of our real-time crime center, which is already paid for, but unfortunately has not been installed yet. That would have been very, very helpful in this situation, but it wasn't there yet.
Any others? Okay, I think we're done. Again, remember, we'll be posting a link on our police department's Facebook page. That will be a link to the fundraiser. We appreciate any shares you can help with that. And also, as far as another news conference, we probably will have another one, but we haven't scheduled it right now. Keep watching for news releases and/or information on our Facebook page. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. So let's have a little chat about this. I'm going to give you guys a little insight about our police force and our city here, since I was born and raised here and I'm currently here right now. So I can speak a little bit about this. Now, obviously, I wasn't here at that, there last night, and thank gosh I wasn't. But, I can give you a little bit of some insight because I saw some questions about, regarding the police and the size of it and all that. So just give me a second. I was just getting something here ready so that I can share it with you. Okay, I got it up. That way when I get to it, it's ready to go. All right, so let's get this out of there. All right, so, yeah, we got a little information, but obviously not a lot, which I wasn't expecting that there was going to be too much that was going to be put out, because even if they do know, it's obviously too soon in this investigation that they're going to put out anything important, okay? So I think for the most part, as far as learning about the victims and the amount of casualties that were involved, oops, let me take this off of here. What is this?
1896.
Hold on just a second. It's playing something in the background. You guys can't hear it, but I can. All right, there we go. Sorry. It's like, the fuck? All right. Hold on. Let me actually say thank you so much. Kimberly71, thank you so much for being a member for almost 1 year. You already are an OG, my friend, but almost an officially 1 year as a member of the jury. I appreciate your continued support, my friend. Kimberly, this Gabble Slam goes out to you. You guys know what to do in chat. Spam them gabbles if you got them, please. And thank you again so much, Kimberly71, for your continued support. Almost for 1 complete year now. And you are definitely an OG, my friend. All right. So, back to what I was saying. Okay, so yeah, I think as far as any of the questions having to do with the casualties, those got answered, but obviously questions having to do with what exactly the hell happened, have they arrested, or do they know who was the person or the shooter behind this, how many shooters there were, how many people were involved, which are important questions, and obviously the media and the community should know about. It seems like obviously they didn't have any answers to those yet. Now, I will be following up on this, obviously, and hopefully the next news conference, which I'm sure is going to be a lot, there's going to be a lot more people in attendance since there's going to be more time for the notification to go out. I will hopefully be able to attend as a member of the media. That way I can bring it to you live. Now, worst case scenario, it does look like they're going to be streaming it, so we can just kind of watch it like we did here. But I would prefer to be down there. That way I can ask some questions. And also, if you guys have any questions that you would like to pass along with me, I can ask those for you, okay? That would be the main reason why I would like to be down there at that news conference. I don't know if you kind of started seeing where some of the media was going with their questions, which is basically they're trying to pin this on, whose fault is this? Obviously the fault is going to be the individual behind this shooting, 100%. But where I think the media was going with was did the police already know about this event? So basically, it sounds like what happened last night was a unsanctioned. Now, the police are using that phrase, okay? We don't know yet if that was sanctioned or not. And that's what I think the media was trying to figure out. Was this an event that the police already was made aware of? Was there people already calling from the neighborhood complaining about this unsanctioned event? Because here's where the media is going with this, and where eventually the investigation, or if there's going to be any type of, let's just put it this way, if any of the victims are going to be hiring attorneys and there's going to be any lawsuits, they're going to want to know whether the police basically knew that this event was already going on. Because if they did, and they didn't clear it, or basically they ignored the fact that this unsanctioned event was going on, there could have been some lives that could have been saved, or this whole incident could have been possibly prevented, and I'm not going there. I'm not going to be one of those people. I'm not one of those woulda, shoulda, coulda. It happened. It's sad. It's tragic. And we need to move on. And when I say that, is not to forget about what happened. What I mean is we need to move on to catch whoever's behind this and start prosecuting that individual and hopefully get a little bit of some peace and justice for the families of these victims. Now, remember, it's not going to give them 100% peace and justice because they're never going to get that individual back. And I'm sure these victims sounded like they were from the ages of between 16 to 36 years old. So probably some young victims. And I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people today, or if they haven't already been notified, that are going to be, it's going to be a very tragic day for a lot of families today in Las Cruces. We're a small community. It's one of those towns where people it's not like so small where, we leave the doors open, but for the most part, everybody knows a lot of people here, or has family, one of those type of towns. So, again, and there is a picture that's going around of, and originally I thought, and this was what a lot of the media platforms were actually, and again, that's why I always say, you got to get all the evidence and all the facts together, because this is no joke. The media, and not me, the mainstream media was floating around a picture of some guy holding an AR, which to everybody looking at it, sure damn looked like that was the shooter, okay? So imagine now everybody's pinpointing that individual as the shooter, when obviously from this police conference, the police said that, no, that wasn't the shooter. We've already talked to that individual. We don't know why they had an AR and why it was pointed out, but that wasn't the shooter. Okay. Now, I will tell you, in New Mexico, we do have some pretty lenient gun laws. Now, you do have to be a certain age to own a rifle and a handgun. But as far as once you meet that age, we are an open carry state. You are allowed, if you want to fucking walk around with a fucking long gun on you, you're more than certainly welcome to. Now, there are certain buildings and places you can't go with that, but basically, if I want to go on a walk around my block right now with my pooches and I want to strap on a long gun, I can go ahead and do that. That's perfectly legal in my town. So, the legality of whether that guy should have had a weapon out or not, who knows? Obviously, if there's going to be, he's there and he's protecting himself and somebody's firing at him, sure, he's got every legal right to protect himself. But it's too soon to say what has happened, whether that guy had anything to do with it. The police already said they talked to him, whether he's going to be arrested later down the road or obviously going to be investigated later on down the road. Who knows? But as of right now, they did clear him as not being the shooter. Let's see here. Yeah, I am too sunshiny. I'll put it this way. I mean, I try not to put myself in harm's way, but you guys know I like to do fun stuff. And if I had heard about a car show, and especially an unsanctioned one, there could have been a good possibility I could have been there. All right. So, yeah, I'm thankful for myself, being that I didn't, go out last night, or, obviously I didn't know about this car show, period. So I'm glad that it was never an option. But, yeah, I mean, I definitely, and anybody in the community could have been out there, because it's a public park. So it sounds like the shooting started at 10, but I'm sure the car show started a lot sooner. So who knows what led to this? Me personally, just based on a lot of these little shootings that we have here in these little towns, and like where I used to live up in Albuquerque, New Mexico, which is our largest city in the state of New Mexico, which we do have, for its size, it's got horrible amounts of just crime and shootings and violence and drugs and all that shit. It's a bad city, man. It sucks because it used to be an awesome city, and that's why I moved from here to there. I loved it, and I still love the Albuquerque, don't get me wrong, but it's definitely changed within the last 10 years, and it's going to shit, okay? But anywho, these street racers, they've got that issue going on up there. As a matter of fact, I think it was within a few years ago, they had these street racers driving around downtown Albuquerque, and they were shooting fucking buildings with rifles, okay? Literally shooting city buildings. The actual city, the main city building, which was, go figure, literally just been constructed. A brand new, huge, tall, beautiful building, okay? These assholes drove by at the middle of the night, morning, and I'm just even wondering how the fuck they get away with driving around downtown Albuquerque without one cop seeing them. Shooting up all of downtown, and caused a lot of damage, okay? One, I'm glad nobody got hurt or killed, but these assholes caused so much damage, it was unbelievable. They actually had to close down the city building for like a week. So imagine all the cost of the money of having to pay all those employees for a week, and none of them working, basically, and then the cost of all the glass they had to repair. So where I'm going with that story is it's a big problem here in our state with these little street racer punks. And usually what happens is these assholes have short tempers. They don't know how to fight. And as soon as somebody starts snapping off, or maybe they lose a race and, you know, they don't pay the guy the right amount that they betted or whatever the fuck it is, they get in a little spick-spack argument. Certainly whatever happened was nowhere where nothing needed to happen, where nobody had to lose their fucking life. That's for damn sure. So, I can't say officially that's what happened, but that's just my opinion. And honestly, I would probably bet $1,000 right now that most likely once this investigation gets done, that's probably damn well that we're going to read about is that they're saying an argument started or ensued and is what caused the shooting. But we'll find out soon enough. This is a pretty decent-sized park, so I'm sure this investigation at the park is probably going to be going on for a week. I'm sure if we drove over there right now, there's going to be police and CSI investigators all around the park because this happened last night. So obviously, this is going to be the best time during the day to go out and case for evidence and stuff like that. They mentioned in this news conference that they hadn't arrested the shooter yet. That's kind of scary. Let me share something with you. Let me just load it up. This morning, as like I said earlier, I was driving, doing some errands. They arrested somebody, and it was like it was either, like I said, some feds or a drug bust or some serious type of arrest because, this wasn't just some type of guy that ran a red light or some shit type of arrest, okay? So let me share the video because it literally happened right in front of me. Unfortunately, by the time I got my video up, they had already, pulled the guy over, but you can see all the cars and all that shit. But I don't know if that had anything to do with it, but, at least I can share it with you. Welcome, everybody coming in. I'm sorry if you guys are asking me questions. I kind of just started veering off the chat screen here, but now I'm back onto the chat screen. So welcome SC, welcome Sunshiner, what up Wishy Bishy, what up Block Jones, what up Roofer, welcome to all my mods, welcome to all the members of the jury, welcome to all my friends, whether you love me, Amy, or you're somewhere in between. Oh, actually, those are the viewers. My friends, I would hope you'd like me. What up Sicilian Princess, what up Kimberly, we've got Sassy Scarlet in the house. Who else we got? We've got John here, Justin T, Chicken Yale. Oh, Chicken, really quick before I forget. Chicken had mentioned something about Jacob goes to those car meets. Speaking of Jacob, Jacob actually commented, before I forget this, let me share this with you. Jacob, and for some of you that don't know who Jacob is, I can't even explain. Jacob's just what would you even consider Jacob, Chicken Yale? Like an official leech? Because he doesn't stream. I think he's a little bit past a normal viewer status. So I don't know. The term leech just comes to my head when I think of him. That's the first thing, but I don't know. Anyways, it doesn't matter. But either way, he had a question, and I just wanted to share this with you guys. So for those of you that know Jacob, Jacob Live, or Jacob 14, he's got a lot of nicknames. You'll probably think, this is kind of an interesting or funny question, especially coming from him, but I did want to share this with you because you did bring him up. So let me just share this here. And then we'll get back to the case at hand that we were talking about. Well, I don't know how I'm going to share this, actually. It's kind of going to be weird because it's on a... Let's see. How do I do this? Oh, here it goes. All right. So can you guys see this? Let me see what you guys are looking at. Okay. So over here on the right-hand side, there's that comment box. So let me kind of walk you through this here. So this was on my, this was on yesterday's VOD. So yesterday's update on basically Saint Ski Mask going missing since the release of jail. Sorry, I keep looking here because I'm used to my GoPro camera being set up, but I didn't have time to set that up. So I'm just using the camera off the laptop. So excuse me. Usually I like to use my new setup, but at least I had some time to set up the microphone, so we got at least some decent audio. But Jacob is live started with a question, and then I replied back. So basically the question from Jacob Live was, just a question, okay? Why do you invest your time into these normal people's criminal status? I understand doing celebrities or big influencer, but this really ain't it. ... So let me read that to you one more time. Just a question, okay? Why do you invest your time into these normal people's criminal status? I understand doing celebrities or big influencer, but this really ain't it. So basically, he's saying that Saint and Ski Mask, are just normal people, and, why are you even talking about them? Nobody cares, which is kind of interesting because I'll tell you what, Saint has probably been one of the individuals I've covered that's had the most amount of his own viewers that have reached out to me wanting coverage, which has been pretty odd and interesting. But either way, let me share you my reply. So I said back, I did a little emoji smiley face or laughing face first, and I said, these aren't normal people. These are IRL celebrities. You should know. You've spent the last 5 years kissing those same people's. Now, obviously, I didn't want to spell ASSES, so I used the little, money sign. But basically, I said those same people's arses trying to become an IRL celebrity yourself. Sorry it never worked out. Oh, I didn't even notice. I got 7 thumbs up already. And I didn't even thumbs myself up, which you can see. I don't do that. So, obviously, 7 people agreed with me. Now, I'm sure Jacob's 5 thumbs up was Jacob and his 5 alts. But, anywho, I just think it's kind of odd or funny. For those of you that know Jacob, Jacob basically has spent, probably even more than the 5 years that I put on there, following Chicken Andy and other individuals that basically consider themselves IRL celebrities, trying to become an IRL celebrity himself, which, to his account, I don't think he ever made it, just my opinion. But so I'm just kind of wondering why, he would basically say the same people that he considered celebrities, why he questions why, I cover them and that they're normal people now all of a sudden. So, anywho, just wanted to share that with you guys for those of you that know who Jacob is. All right, so let me get back to comments here. Yeah. Who's that? Oh, is that Real Saint? Or is that Real Saint pretending not to be Real Saint because Real Saint's not technically supposed to be maybe on the internet? I don't know if that's, the case, but because I've never seen Saint Anger in here. So I don't think you're one of the usual Saint simps. Oh, not real? Okay, never mind. I was going to say, damn, if you want to come up and speak on your behalf, you're more than welcome to, but never mind. All right. So let's get this out of the way. All right, so so if we got another news conference coming up, I'd like to get there directly and bring that to you, and I'll try my best. But I will bring you some follow-up. Hold on, let me just shout out Roofer here. Holy shit, Roofer. You got to be kidding me. Roofer celebrating 23 months as a member of the jury. Roofer says 23 and me. Holy shit, Roofer. You're 1 month away from a 2-year anniversary, my friend. You are definitely well, actually, I think you already passed the quintuplet. So I got to figure out how you say 6 years in the whatever form that we're trying to say it in. But anywho, I think you know what I'm trying to say. I appreciate your continued support, my friend. You are the biggest OG of the squad, definitely. I don't know if anybody's surpassed you yet. If they have, I apologize. You're also OGs as well. But I think Roofer's got it on everybody, as of what I've seen. So, Roofer, again, I want to say a huge thank you for all your continued support for basically 2 years, my friend. And thank you for all your help and support as a member of the Mod Squad. This gavel slam goes out to you, my friend. You guys know what to do in chat. Spam them mother effing gavels if you got them, please. We do need, you know what? We'll get you an emoji, Roofer. I agree with Zero's Nightmare. That earns you a fucking Roofer emoji. So I'll work on one for you. I'll send it to you. I want to get your approval first. And if it works for you, we'll get it. We'll post it up there as one of the new emojis. We're definitely going to update the emojis before I go on my road trip. We're going to have some fun Cali-themed road trip emojis that you guys can spam as members of the jury. Also, this road trip, I'm hoping to, add some more additional members to the jury. It's going to be some of my goals per day, and when we meet these goals, we get to do all the fun stuff. I'll explain it to you, but basically, I'd like to kind of like when I'm eBaying for donations, it's the same thing, but instead of donations, which it is a donation, I would rather you do a membership because it's pretty cool. For $3, you help donate to the channel. The channel gets the $3 minus, YouTube's cut of 30%. But in addition to helping the channel by donating, you also get a membership for a month. It's a win-win for everybody. So I much appreciate my current members of the jury. I appreciate any future members of the jury. I appreciate those that gift the memberships of the jury. And welcome to all our new members this month. I know I gifted at least 10 memberships. I know we had a lot of other people gift memberships, so we got a lot of new members that I hope will continue, with us once the month's over as a member of the jury, if you, like and enjoy being one. And again, one of the cool perks you get to have as a member of the jury is the awesome emojis that I try to stay on top of, always updating. And for the most part, I think we've had pretty fresh and fun, cool emojis. And I think most of y'all enjoy spamming them. And I love seeing them. So yeah, we have fun with them. And if you want to be part of that, it's just $3 a month. And like I said, most importantly, it helps this channel grow, helps continue to bring the coverage that you guys, I would hope for the most part, enjoy. And is exactly why this channel is able to take you all to Southern California and hopefully what's going to be an awesome content-filled and and like I said, we're going to have fun. It's going to have content. We're going to have court stuff. It's going to be informative. It's just going to be a great trip, period. So that would not be that wouldn't even happen if it wasn't for you guys that support this channel. So much appreciated again. And for those that always say, oh man, why do you sit there so long and just get to the news then, Jay? You know what? You know what's so funny? You wouldn't even have the news if it wasn't for these people that I say thank you to, and I'm glad to take as much time as I need to shout them out as I will take. So, again, thank you guys. I appreciate all your support, and I can't wait to head out to Cali here very soon. What up, Sumi? Hey, good to see you. Long time no see, my friend. What was I going to say? Oh, but getting back to what our original coverage was here, I will get you guys updates. What I was going to say is I think Sicilian was kind of asking about our we were talking a little bit between me and you about the police here, our police force. It is very small. They do have somewhat of a recruitment problem. I don't know what the excuse was. He was kind of saying something along the lines that, and that's why, like I said, I personally want to get some more information. That's why I would like to be attending the news conferences. I want to learn more about whether or not police had already been called out to this event. Basically, what I want to investigate is, was there a way that this could have been prevented? Meaning, had police already been notified of this event way in advance, okay? They could have already been at the park just to say, nope, you're not coming in here, get out. Had the police already been called out there multiple times? Had they already warned these guys to, clear the park, and they didn't listen? And then this happened, okay? Because the way the police are making it sound was like basically is we didn't know this unsanctioned event was going on, but apparently it was a pretty damn large event. And I'll put it this way. That park has a neighborhood around it, okay? So if you've got 100 kids at an unsanctioned event at 9, 10 o'clock at night at a park that's supposed to be closed at sundown, I can guarantee you the community around that park is going to call the police. So I want to know if calls, basically, I don't even have to go to the conference. I could just FOIA request the call log from that evening and see what calls were made and what time were they made, and then, check that in according to, when this incident officially was, put out as far as, when the shooting occurred and, when the first, response was made and all that and things like that. But I'm just curious as to could this have been prevented, all right? I'm not here to put blame. I'm just curious. That's it. And a lot of people are, okay? Like I said, if there's going to be some lawsuits coming, which there usually is, I can fucking guarantee you that's going to be the first thing these fucking attorneys are going to be investigating was whether this incident could have been prevented or not. So, Disneyland! No. We are going to do Universal Studios. So I picked one of the fun parks out of all the ones they got there to do for just one of the fun days we're going to have, and it's going to be Universal Studios. I think it's just a lot funner. I think as far as for content, bringing people along, there's just so much more stuff to do because you got to remember, although I love going on rides and shit, especially the action rides, can't really take a camera on those. You know what I mean? One, they don't let you most of the times. And even if I can sneak one on, I don't want to fuck up and lose my camera, right? So basically, Universal Studios offers more shows and attractions that I can walk around with a camera and show you guys. So yeah, I'm going to do Universal Studios. Freedom of Information Act, or also known as a FOIL request. Freedom of Information, hold on. What's the L stand for? They do that in the East Coast a lot. They don't call it a FOIA, they call it a FOIL. Freedom of Information Act. I forgot what the L was, but anyways, I call it a FOIA. Freedom of Information Act, but they call it a FOIL. Freedom of Information, I don't know. Anyways, yeah, I do have my chest-mounted camera, so I was thinking when I do go, because they do have rides at Universal Studios. They got some pretty badass ones, like the Jurassic Park ride. They got the Homer Simpson. They got the Simpsons ride, Jurassic Park ride. The Jurassic Park ride's a water ride. I'm definitely going to take you guys on that one, and I'm going to have the GoPro with me. So, yeah, when we go to Universal Studios, the one that I can't wait to take you guys on is, and what I'm excited for, it's the only thing I remember as a young buck when I went to Universal Studios, was the OG Universal Studio Tour. That's the one where they take you like in the extended golf carts and they take you around the studio. But as part of that, they take you into these like action part scene. It's fucking badass. If you've never been to Universal Studios in Hollywood, I would definitely recommend. If you ever go to Southern California, you definitely stop there. Like I said, Mario Land. That's right. They do have the Mario Land. That's one of the, I think I read that's the one most popular ride right now is the Mario Land ride one. So yeah, I'm doing well, Sumi. Getting ready to head out on a 2-week IRL road trip tour in Southern California. Gonna be hanging out in the Los Angeles area for a week. Then we're gonna head out to San Francisco for a week. So gonna be a lot of fun. Yeah, that's the studio tour is the one. You're right, Aaron, where they've got the King Kong and the Jaws and all that. And I'm sure a lot of it's changed since, like I said, it's got to at least been 20 years since I've been to Southern California. At least it's probably been more. So. I'm looking forward to it. Like I said, we're going to be doing fun stuff, IRL stuff. We're going to be doing the live documentary, which I'm really excited to bring you guys. We're going to be doing the court-related stuff. I'll talk a little bit more about that once I'm there. Yeah, so we're going to take care of some business and a lot of fun stuff as well. So it's going to be a good trip. So pertaining back to what we were talking about here with this mass shooting, more information to come. Obviously, what they put out in this news conference is a lot more than what I had already to tell you guys. So I'm glad that was already available for us to share and watch together. But at this time, it sounds like, based on what I heard, they have not arrested any of the people involved yet. Or let's just say it sounds like they have a main shooter that was behind this. So the shooter is the individual, I guess, that they said they have not arrested at this moment. Or they even said that they've identified, according to what I heard. So that is a concerning, because now you've got some crazy guy that's obviously already killed individuals with a high-powered weapon that's possibly running around and hiding around our small town. So that's pretty concerning. The other concerning issue I had is with the police officer mentioning something about that they didn't have enough resources to, like, that's what I'm saying. It almost sounded like he knew or was leading into the fact that they already knew that this unsanctioned car show was going to go on, but that they didn't have enough resources to send people when it was going on, which that makes no sense, because it was just a Friday night last night. There was no major event going on where, like, basically, a lot of the resources would have been at, like, so I just hear a bunch of excuses, and I'm sorry, I don't want to be like that. I support our local Leo 100%. But, it just knowing the way our city is and the way things work here, to me, it just sounded like there's some shit that they don't want to get out. Yeah, I ultimately think that they could have prevented this, and I'm not going to use that as an excuse, but I think that these cops very well knew that this unsanctioned event was going to go on. Did they know there was going to be a shooting? No. Okay. Absolutely not. I'm not blaming the police at all. What I'm saying is I think they could have had police there, and obviously if it was unsanctioned, they should have already cleared everybody out of that park. Okay. Is all I'm saying. And hopefully, maybe if they would have been able to do that, that may have been possibly what it could have prevented the shooting. But it already happened. Doesn't matter. We just need to get justice for these innocent victims and start moving on with the grieving process and hopefully figure out how we can, as a city, avoid something tragic like this ever happening again, not only in our city, but in our whole country, okay? I think we need to use this as an example, sadly, so that other townships, especially small towns like us, can learn from, the mistakes that could have possibly been made, or if there was good things that were done, right things that were done by our police, by the things that were done rightfully. Now, I want to give kudos. It sounds like based on what I think it was either the mayor or the chief of police had commented that the fire department and the ambulance had responded while this incident was still basically going on. Okay, so the event, it had not been cleared. So big kudos to the rescue, the rescue individuals, professionals, for going out and saving lives. Okay. Those are the big heroes right now, as well as the police. Like I said, I'm in no way trying to bag down our police, but I just wish that they were a little bit more clear on some of the questions, because it sounded like they knew a little bit more than they were trying to lead. Anyways, yes, definitely thought so. This is in Las Cruces, New Mexico. This is my local town right now that I'm in, Cesar. This is the town that I was born and raised in, and that I've been in the last, 2.5 years since I made the move, to do the channel full time, and have been staying here at my parents' home in Las Cruces. If you guys had started the channel when I did start the channel, I was originally up in Albuquerque. That's where I personally lived. But then when I went full time, we came down here for the channel to do full time. So, because I think somebody was asking me earlier about Albuquerque, or wondering that, or they thought I was in Albuquerque, and I said no, I usually was, but I haven't been up there in years now. Hey, we missed you too. I'm glad to see you back, and you actually came back during a great time. We're gonna have a lot of fun here coming up very soon, coming up in the month of April. So I am very much looking forward to it. I hope we get a lot more new, like I said, members, just viewers from, going out and meeting a lot more different streamers. I'm hoping to do some collaborations in addition to the, live documentary. Basically, that's my version of a collaboration, but I'm hoping to introduce a lot of other new streamers to my audience and vice versa. So, yeah, I'm very much looking forward to it. And I have a lot of friends and people I want to meet in California, so I'm very much looking over to it. I am over 6K now. I am officially. No more of it bouncing from 6K to 5K, 5,998, No, I think we're safe to say we are officially over 6K, because we're, I think, just over 6,100 subscribers. So unless 100 people unsubbed, then I'd be worried about going under the 5K. But that's why I always say, don't ever, if you're a channel, wait till you're at least 30 or 40 subs over the number that you want to congratulate your channel on. Because what'll happen is, especially if there's people that may have been on alts that subbed, once YouTube does its little audit and figures out, which IP address is double subbed or triple subbed or quadruple subbed, they start scratching away those subs, right? So then all of a sudden, you get back down to a number that you're under, that, number that you were about to announce you were over, and then, just give your haters an excuse to talk shit. So I waited before, even though I'd already hit 6K a few times, I had waited till we were way over 6K. Not way like we are now, but I think we were about 25, 30 subs, like I said, over the 6K when we had the party. And we never dropped down, so that was nice. Oh, we're going to be Erica. I've already talked to Eric. And he said he was down to meet. I have talked to Mike before. I don't know if he remembers our conversation, but I had mentioned that I was going to be going up there, and I think he had mentioned he was down to meet up. But I've already talked to a few people. I've already reached out to Billy John. He's down. I'm hoping that he's going to, I haven't talked to him any more than just asking him, hey, are you down to, meet up when I'm down there? He was, but I'm hoping that he'll be down to give me a tour of the boulevard and kind of, give us a story about the whole lore of the Hollywood Boulevard and all the interesting streamers and characters that have basically arisen from the Hollywood Boulevard. So, including himself. So, yeah, we're going to be going and checking out a lot of different streamers. I'm hoping to meet streamers from all different communities, not just necessarily the IP2 community, but, there are a lot of IP2 streamers on the West Coast. So, for the most part, you will see a lot of IP2 streamers will be interviewing for a live documentary. But my live documentary, I would love to meet anybody that considers themselves a streamer, whether you're a new streamer, an OG streamer, whatever. If you consider yourself a streamer, I don't care what platform you're on, what you stream. I'd like to meet you if you're on the West Coast. Follow you for a day or half a day or for an hour or two. Hey, 2GSPs. Wait, no, they're not G. It's German. Anyways, you know what I was trying to say. But dude, that's so awesome. I just actually met a guy that was walking around the street earlier that loved Rio. He came and said hi to Rio, and he had 2 German Shepherds. So speaking of German Shepherds, yeah, no, I was telling him that I think Rio is part Shepherd because of his longer snout. So I think he's got a little German Shepherd in him too. Hey, that would be cool if we can if Andy dicks with Billy, we can follow them both for the day. Like I said, basically in a live documentary, there is really no script or any way this is going to go, and that's why I'm doing it as a live documentary. So we're just gonna kind of take it as it goes, as it should, as a live stream should be. So. All right, my friends. I think I'm going to continue to finish up my breakfast. As of right now, please send prayers and thoughts to the victims of this tragic incident. Based on the news conference we just listened to, as of this morning, it appears that we've got. I wrote it down here just so I make sure I got this correct. A total of about 15. I've heard between 15 to 18 people injured. For sure, they have verified, and sadly, that 3 people were killed. It sounds like 2 people were dead on scene as they, arrived at the park, and it probably appears that the other individual probably passed away at the hospital or on the way. They still have people that are still being treated in the hospitals. They have a few people that were flown to El Paso to get treatment down there. They have cleared out a few people that were in the hospital last night that have already left. But obviously the investigation is very, very in its early phases. They said they haven't even caught the shooter yet. Whether they know who he is or not, maybe they don't want to mention it, obviously, to give any hints. That way it's more of, they've got more of a surprise or a jump on the individual. But either way, I hopefully today that I can either post or come back on live that they have caught this shooter. You guys will probably catch this on your national news if you watch any of the national news stations that'll be coming on throughout the day and this evening. But like I said, I just hope that if there's anybody that's very tragically injured, that they're able to pull through and that there is not going to be any more deaths. And prayers to the people that, like I said, not people, the families, and just I couldn't even tell you in a community like ours, the amount, it's probably going to be in the hundreds of people that are going to be mourning today, those 3 individuals that were killed easily. So I hope as a community we can heal and we can find some justice for these families. And like I said, let's catch this motherfucker. That's the first thing they need to do. And then I hope they can get some justice because, depending on this guy's age, you know how it works in the legal system when people are under 18. I hope they throw the book at this motherfucker. So, yes, 3 as of right now, with a lot of injuries. We said between 15 to 18 people injured, 3 dead. This was at a local park here in Las Cruces, New Mexico. This was last night at around 10 p.m. Local time, our time, which is Mountain Central or Mountain Standard Time. It appears that this was an incident that happened from a car show that was going on. According to the police, this was an unsanctioned car show at the time. So I guess that's the reason why there was no law enforcement or security out there to prevent possibly something like this happening. I gave my opinion that I have a feeling this probably ended up being some type of verbal argument that obviously led or ensued into the shooting. But it does appear that one or just maybe another individual, but at this point, at this moment, it sounds like they're just referring to one shooter that's responsible for all these people that were shot at and killed. It does sound like there was other shooters that maybe responded. I'm sure there's other people that were armed that may have shot back, but for the most part, it sounds like as far as the people that were killed, it was directly from the one shooter. Again, that can all change, right? It's at nighttime. You got bullets flying everywhere. Who knows at this point? Okay, so I'm sure that as this investigation goes on, more details will come out, and this could very well change. Very well could change. I mean, let's just put it this way: the media was floating around this morning a picture of a guy with an AR. 100% thought that was the shooter. The police chief just announced this morning that was an individual that they did speak to, but that individual has been cleared that is not the shooter. Okay, and they basically said, they weren't probably supposed to be, out there wielding a long gun, especially if they're underage. But I guess at this point they don't care. At this point, they're just trying to figure out who this shooter was, and maybe they'll go back and press charges against this guy if he was illegally, owning a, basically not supposed to have a weapon, or if he was old enough, they need to figure out if he was in the right to be, basically shooting or, pointing a weapon at somebody for his defense, for self-defense. All right, my friends, I'm going to go have some breakfast. I hope you guys have a wonderful Saturday. I know yesterday I had mentioned, I think it was yesterday we had our last little live stream. Yeah, I think it was. Sorry, it's been a long week with all the shenanigans going on, and then I'm getting ready for this trip, so I've been busy. I've just kind of lost track of the days, so I guess now I know how it feels to be Ski Mask Andy. But basically, I know yesterday I mentioned that I was going to do a fun live stream today. I am changed my plans. I am not going to be attending this event. There's really no excuse. It's out in Sunland Park, and it's a 45-minute drive. And I did a lot of yard work yesterday. We're getting the pool ready, and it was a mess. We've had a lot of just nasty wind these last few weeks, and there was probably a good couple of inches of dirt caked on in the bottom of the pool. So I spent basically the last few days just cleaning a small pool that would usually take me an hour at the most, but with the amount of dirt that it had, it was a few days project. So I'm wiped out. My body is sore. I don't feel like going out anymore. So that's it. There's no bad weather or anything like that. Honestly, I'm kind of bummed because it was at a dispensary. They were going to have a little outdoor market and food trucks and stuff. It sounded like a lot of fun, but I just don't have the energy in me. Plus, I need to save up my energy for this trip anyway. So let me make sure I didn't miss any shout outs. So let me just update my chat here. Chat filter, all messages. All right, cool. Yeah, so basically, if you guys want to follow up on this yourself, it's going to be on national news. It's already made it. I'm sure if you log on to NBC News or ABC News, they'll have a section that you can click on that'll be, keeping you up to date on what's going on. But like I said, if there is going to be any news conferences coming up and I can catch it, I will definitely try my best to get there, and I'll pop on a live stream and bring it to you guys. Otherwise, it sounds like you guys can go to the city of Las Cruces. So let me share, for those of you that need the link, let me share you the link for the city of Las Cruces, which that's where we were watching this news conference from, was directly from their YouTube channel. So I'm sure they're going to be continuing to show these news coverages or conferences through their YouTube channel. So just in case I can't make it, or I just don't catch the next update and you guys do, here is the link to that. Give me just 1 second. Where's Las Cruces? Okay, here it is. Here's the link. Actually, let me give you the link directly to the live stream we just watched. That way, if you want to rewatch it, you can. Here we go. There you go. All right. Crystal Mino says, we all know who and why. I don't. But if you do, share. Anyways, all right. That's the link for you guys if you want to follow up through the City of Las Cruces' YouTube channel. That's where we watched this last news conference. Otherwise, like I said, I'm sure throughout the day and tonight you'll be seeing a bunch of updates through your major news channels and outlets, either online or on the main tube, TV, what do they call it? Satellite TV, whatever you're on, cable antenna. Anywho, all right, my friends, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your Saturday. I apologize that I did not just have the energy to go out and do the live stream today, but we did have a lot of live streams this week, had a lot of breaking news, like I said, and then in between, I'm doing my own personal life stuff, which just wiped me out today. So maybe tomorrow we can do something fun if there's anything going on. But otherwise, I'll see you next week. We've got some court updates that we'll be getting on next week. And then we'll be gearing up for a road trip to California. So I'll be coming up here soon with a official tour date as far as itinerary with the exact dates. But basically, it's going to be beginning of April is when I'm going to be leaving. I will be there during the 420 time. So hopefully we'll be able to catch a fun 420 festival or something going on somewhere in Cali. I'm sure something will be going on. And yeah, it'll be a blast. All right. Well, thank you, Sunshiner. You might, but I know some others may not, so. But I appreciate you. All right, my friends, have a great rest of your day. As always, keep that head on a swivel. Check that, 6 every once in a while. And most importantly, especially after a tragedy like this, please take some time to love others, your family, your friends. And don't forget, it's okay to take some time to love yourself, all right? We need to heal ourselves too, so. But I love you guys as always. Don't say that I didn't warn you because we're about to get loud and proud. So you may want to lower that earbud or volume down or take out your earbuds if you got them. I'll give you a second. Oh, man, I hate to do it because old man's sleeping looking. I think he just pretends now so he doesn't have to participate. All right, I won't do it. I feel bad. I don't want to wake him up. I just don't want to give him a heart attack because he's so old now. I don't want to scare him out of his sleep. So you guys lucked out. We'll just do it ASMR style. Hey, I will, Sicilian. Thank you. You guys too. You guys stay safe in chat. All right, please. But yeah, I will. I'll definitely stay safe. You guys know it. NJCourts is officially out. I'm going to see if his little ear twitches. Okay, he's asleep. That's how I know he's not faking. If his little ear twitched, I know you're still awake. All right, I'm out of here, guys. Have a good day. Love you guys. Take care, and we'll see you on the next one. Peace. Oh, and thank you for everybody's support today. Thank you for all the members that celebrate anniversaries. I appreciate it. And we're going to do something fun, actually. When I'm in LA, I'm going to have something fun just for the members of the jury. So keep an eye out for that. And like I said, we'll freshen up all the emojis too. So keep an eye out for those as well. All right, guys. Have a great rest of your Saturday. Peace.